In the process of making this video, I found that I couldn't tell the story that I wanted without first mentioning how we got here. You could say that this channel, and maybe even my career, are all thanks to some dead leaves. The first cigar I ever purchased was a Romeo y Julieta for my 18th birthday. At least you could do that back then. But we were down in Savannah, Georgia for the 4th of July, and I decided this is how I was going to celebrate. Now, my father, who was super down, but was curious, and he asked me, what made you want to try cigars in the first place? You know, it's a question that I've been asked by so many others since then, and if I'm being honest, it wasn't until writing the script where I finally asked myself that question. But when I really think back on it, it all stems from the first cigar I ever smoked. Not the cigar itself, sadly, I don't remember the name, but where I was in my life at that point in time. 10 years ago, a couple buddies of mine who were a year older than me just got into Georgia Tech. And with my family living close to the city, any chance of some time off, I was there. Shouts out to Work-Based Learning for allowing me to skip the traffic. But this is probably the point in my life where I felt the most free. You know, it was my senior year of high school. I was old enough to drive and start exploring, but still under my parents' roof, so I had no real responsibilities other than a part-time job for some gas money and an easy A. But I think with the impending doom that was supposed to be the rest of my life after this year, I was searching. You know, I was searching for freedom, searching for fun. What do I want to do? Who do I want to be? And what does that even look like? You know, I began asking myself all these questions. And it gave me real stress and anxiety, and if I'm being honest, it still does today. But when I'd go visit the homies, all that went away. I could be sleeping on a couch or a floor at times, and it didn't even matter. I was floating, you know? We were going to fraternity parties, we were going to see the city, and just chill, really. And on this one particular night, my buddy Elia had a late lab, so it was just Nathan and I, and he asked me if I wanted to go visit some friends of his who lived across campus. Now, if you've never been to Atlanta, Tech's campus is pretty big, but it's in a bubble for the most part, so it's a nice little jaunt, but it's a walk, you know? And as we begin walking, he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out a tubo with a cigar and he says, "You want to try one?" And you know, I'd seen enough Scarface and Sopranos to know not to inhale, but I'd never tried a cigar before. But I thought, you know what, it's in my blood, let's do it. I don't think it was that cool at all, but I found myself just enjoying that moment so much, and it had nothing to do with the cigar. I wasn't trying to impress anyone, you know, it's just Nathan and I. But it was the fact that we were kind of forced to be in this one moment with each other, this one conversation. For however long the journey was, that's where we were at that point in time. And I think that's what first made me attracted to this ritual, because I always hated small talk, you know, that meant nothing to me. I wanted to talk about something real, you know, something tangible, and I got that in my time with Nathan. After that, I was hooked. I began chasing that moment with every cigar since then. It's not always there, but when it is, I embrace it. And I find that that's something that's so ingrained with this culture that I look forward to being able to share that experience with others, whether it's my family, friends, or even complete strangers, you know, because I enjoy having those conversations that you find out more about somebody in 7 minutes than most people do in 7 years of knowing them. And I think some part of me became a host because of that. Because in order to do a good job, you have to be able to roll with the punches a little bit and improv and be an active listener in that conversation. Now, why I became a host is a whole nother conversation for another day. But even with this channel, you know, I wanted to communicate something that was not only entertaining, but educational, so that I could practice my skill set when I wasn't working. And I thought, well, what better topic to talk about than something that I loved and had a desire to explore. I hope you guys like this video. I know it's a little different than some of the other content that I've been putting out. So if you enjoyed hearing about my cigar journey, then make sure you are subscribed to the channel for part 2. But in the meantime, let me know in the comments down below what your cigar journey's been like. You know, do you remember your first cigar? What's your favorite thing about this culture? I love talking with you guys and learning more about you as you slowly learn more about me. But thank you all again so much for watching. Keep it you, and I'll see you for part 2.